Good morning, everybody. How are we today? See if we can get this back on. There we go. All right. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Yeah, happy Tuesday. So welcome to today's broker briefing. Broker briefing. Brought to you by Mr. Jimmy McNally in his beautifully pink shirt.
Gotta go.
Okay. Great. And Pam, happy birthday to you. And brought to you by me with no casts. Yay. I can actually clap, can't do it too hard because I hurt myself.
Just don't get too close to him. His arms still smell.
Hey, I watched it. I watched it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started and jump into our topics for today. We've got a nice meeting planned for you today, cover a bunch of topics, keep you up to speed, keep you up to date, show you where we're at with our numbers. But let's go ahead and get started since we have India online with Paramount Title. Ms. India Miracle, ma'am, why don't you tell me how we're doing over there at Paramount Title?
Good morning. How's everybody doing? We're doing great over here. We're starting off really strong for the month with new contracts, so we appreciate those coming in. I don't have the exact number, so I'll have that for y'all next week. But there are a couple of things I would like to mention. Please remember there is a training this Thursday at 9 a.m. with Chris LaChance going over the Title Toolbox and the Fan Agent app. I also want to discuss vacant land reminders. If you are sending in a vacant land contract, we do have to have 2 forms of the seller IDs. If we do not have this, we cannot open your contract. So please make sure those are being submitted with your contract so that there's no delays. Also want to go over power of attorneys. If you are using a power of attorney in a contract, please make sure title is having underwriting review those power of attorneys before signing and executing that contract to make sure that power of attorney is acceptable. We also need to know the reason a power of attorney is being used. We don't want a seller just giving someone authorization if that seller is actually capable of signing our deed. It is very important we are getting as many sellers as possible to sign our deeds. That's pretty much all I have.
Awesome. So what you're telling me is just because the seller has a power of attorney doesn't mean that it's valid and good?
No, it's not always valid. In the state of Florida, 2 witnesses are required on a power of attorney. Can't be family members.
Couple points. Yes. If you have a vacant land, you probably want to reach out to title and just give them a heads up that I have this vacant piece of land. What are you going to require? They're going to tell you they need 2 forms of ID. Is there anything else that we can do if you have an older seller having issues with providing that, getting that information to you? They have some other options they could try to help you out with. And power of attorney, one of the first things I would do is just send over your documents. If you have a trust, if you have a power of attorney, send that over to Paramount Title immediately and ask them to review that. They'll take a look at it and make sure that you have valid documents that are viable for real estate signing.
All right, and just one last thing I would like to mention before jumping off here. Just a reminder to try not to put Megan on your emails for reply all, just because she will be bombarded in mid-September when she returns by these emails. So we are trying to limit that as much as possible for her.
Will you do me a favor and put the email address they should be sending it to into the chat, and we'll also send another reminder out to the team as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Do that now. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, India. All right, we'll jump in back into our agenda for today. So actually real quick, so the enlightened perspective for today, I thought this was really interesting. You can't depend on your eyes when your mind is out of focus. Can't depend on what you see when your mind isn't right, because a successful warrior is just an average man with laser sharp focus. Right now with the market the way that it is, what is the market? I don't know. It's different everywhere. Is there a market? Do you have a market? Do you create your own market? Do you make your own market? So whatever the market is going to be dictated by the mindset that you bring to your business and to that market. If you can create a laser sharp focus for what your outcome is, what the goals that you're trying to achieve, whether it's buyers, sellers, listings, income, activity, contacts, appointments, whatever that focus is, create laser sharp focus to try to create a specific outcome. So I really love that one. You can't depend on your eyes when your mind is out of focus, because a successful warrior is just an average man who has a laser sharp focus. So for us, let's get some laser sharp focus on what we want to achieve by the end of this year, because we're coming up to the end of August. That means that we're going to have 4 months left in the year. Right now, you got about 4.5 months left in the year. You should be sitting down with your manager at any point in time between now and the next couple weeks to determine where you're at. We just did this with someone yesterday. We've done it with a couple people in the last couple weeks. Figure out where you are, what your pipeline looks like, what it's going to take to get you to the end of the year to get to the goals that you want. Let's revisit that, make sure you're on track. Most of you will probably be surprised at how far you've progressed this year and how close you are to getting that goal. And we could set some expectations to take on some additional actions before the end of this year to make sure we hit those goals. Now, this is our State of the Brokerage address. They do a State of the Union for the United States where people address the company. This is the State of the Brokerage address. So how are we doing with our listings, with our pendings, with our sales for this year to this point? This will be till the end of July, the 1st of August. How are we doing? If I was to ask you, and I was asking you to put one word into the chat to tell me, how are you doing in relation to the brokerage? How are you doing this year with your deals, with your buyers, with your sellers, with your closings, with your AGC? How are you doing? Number of transactions. Good, bad, on track, not on track, better, awesome, amazing. Just chat that in and just let us know how you're doing. We're going to tell you where the brokerage stands, because the only way that we are successful is if you as our agents, do you realize that you are our consumers? We have buyers and sellers, but we don't have buyers and sellers unless we have agents. You are our consumers. And we use your goals, your mindset, your business, and your pendings and your listings to project what we are going to do moving forward. So when we look at all of our numbers, we look at our listings taken. So far this year, we've taken 979 listings as a company. Listing inventory, as of the report date, we have 606 in inventory. So we've taken 979. We currently have 606 in inventory. So we've sold quite a few. And the listings withdrawn and expired. This is where we're going to have our greatest challenge, but also our greatest opportunity. 202 plus 151, so 353 listings have withdrawn or expired. Now, just because that's not 30% of our listings expire, because some of those listings are from last year. We took some of these last year in 2024, so don't look at that as a 30% expiration rate. It's not quite that. It's lower than that. But we're having quite a few withdrawals and expireds this year, and then this is the entire year. So a lot of that was listings taken in 2024 that withdrew or expired. But nearly 1,000 listings. By the end of this year, if we continue at that rate, that's about 1,000 listings divided by 7 months. So that's what, 140 listings a month? And we have 5 months left because we still have all of August. August is not reporting in here. That's going to be another 700 listings almost. 1,500 listings by the end of the year. That's an awesome job. You guys pat yourself on the back for putting up 1,500 listings. Now let's look at what our open sides are. Open sides, this is the amount of open contracts we've had. So a listing goes under contract or a buyer goes under contract. 1,450 open sides for a total open AGC of $15 million in open AGC through the month of July. $15 million opened. Damn good number, right? Last year, total closed, we did just about 20 million. So that's just open. Now we have cancellations and we have withdrawals. We have things like that in those opens, but 15 million open, doing a hell of a job there, guys. Awesome job. And pending, current pending to close, 321 pending sales, $4,276,000 in pending AGC. So right now, if we closed everything out in the next, say, 30 days, and with everything that we open, you'd be nearly $20 million what we did last year. And we still have 5 months left. And we'll have some cancellations, and we have some listings that won't close on time because they're not going to close till next year because we have some projects. But that's some amazing numbers to see. We've had 284 canceled sides this year. Again, some carryover from last year, but 284 canceled sides. Let's go down to just, this is where the rubber meets the roads. This is our closings. These are the numbers that get us to where we want to be. Listing side closed. 521 listing sides closed. 620 buyer sides closed for a total sides closed of 1,141 total sides closed in 7 months.
So let me stop you there real quick, Chris, because what are they saying is happening in the market? How many homes are going to be selling this year? Anybody know what they're kind of predicting? 4 million?
What
It's-
are the projections? So last year it was supposed to be about 4 million. This year they wanted 4.2, 4.3 million,
Okay.
but they've adjusted it back down to about 4 million, 4.1 million.
So they're predicting similar to what we did last year is what they're predicting. And right now we have a total sides closed so far this year of 1,141 closings versus last year, the same time period, we didn't even have 1,000 at this time.
So basically
So-
we're looking at, that's about a 12% increase in number of sides closed during the same period last year. Right? So we have number of sides closed, 12% increase over what we did last year during that same period. Now, Jimmy, jump over to let's look at closed revenue versus same period last year to see how we're tracking based on last year. Because last year was one of the worst real estate markets that we've had since 2008. And they're predicting that this year is going to be the same or worse than last year for number of sides closed. But tell us what the numbers are at
So
right now.
We're already at 13 million closed versus last year at 10. So we're almost at a 30% increase, 27% higher than we were this time last year.
12%
That's the
higher.
same.
Yeah. 12% higher in units closed, nearly 30% increase in closed AGC compared to the same period last year. Right? And has the spring selling season been a spring selling season? No. We haven't seen the number of sales come up for a spring selling season, right? We've seen a lot more listings come on the market. We're not seeing quite as many buyer sales. And that's okay. That just means we need to capture more buyers so we collect more buyer sales, which we're doing. We're putting more listings up. We're putting more buyers under contract. We're closing more deals, and we're continuing on track to exceed what we did last year in a market that is steadily declining for all intents and purposes, what everybody else is saying they're doing. So take your hands, put them together, and say, awesome job. Number one, thank you to every single one of you who shows up every day, puts the work in, commits to your goals, and puts the attitude and intention and mindset to be a successful warrior, to have a laser sharp focus to create an outcome. So you guys are doing an amazing job, and we thank you for that. You are our consumers, and we want to continue to empower, educate, and encourage you to show up in a better way, to continue to do things like this, to keep this pace. Because we have goals. We have an idea of a 10-year goal of being one of the top 5 Century 21 brokerages in the entire globe. Right now, we're consistently between number 19 and 23 over the last 5 years. And we have a goal in 10 years to be in the top 5. And that's going to take laser sharp focus from every single one of us. It's going to take us doing things differently. It's going to take you doing things differently, and everybody showing up a little bit different. And then attracting more people like us and repelling the ones that are not, to continue to do more business, more opportunities, and create a better lifestyle. Anything you want to add on that?
No, I think you hit it.
So that's awesome. So prior year closed AGC was 17 million for the entire year. We're at 13.2. So if we continue on at that pace, what's 7 months at 13 million? That's nearly 2 million a month, about 1.8 million per month. We have 5 months left. That's another $9 million. That puts us at about 22 million, 23 million. So that is an increase from last year. It'll end up being in that same range, about a 20% increase from last year. Okay. Awesome job again. Thank you so much. Everybody give yourself a hand. So that's an amazing job from everybody. Again, I just want to show you this to show you where we are at. So if you are lagging and you're not doing the same as last year, that's okay. If you're exceeding what you did last year, that's okay. Wherever you are is okay. Let's just accept where we are and decide that tomorrow doesn't have to be the same as today or yesterday, and we can make a difference and make some new plans, new ideas, new goals for tomorrow. Cool? So let's go to that video. We have our July tops report for most listings, most open sides, most closings, and most commissions. So this is our most listings, our top listings in the entire company. Miss Lisa Sillo took 5 listings in the month of July. So awesome job. Everybody else on this list took listings. I believe even the lowest amount was 2 listings for any one of our offices. So 2 to 5 listings per month. Amazing job. If you see our listings from our last report, our listings are exceeding what we did last year by a significant amount. So continue to put the listings on the market because the listings get clicks, the listings get calls, the listings create buyers, and the listing generates sales. So awesome job on our listings. We got our top selling agents. This is pretty awesome and amazing. 7.5 open sides in July. 7.5, right? Sandy Tams had 7.5. That was our top selling agent for the month of July. Everybody else here on our list, all across the board, our top selling agents from all of our offices. But 7.5 was the number to beat for the month of July. Congratulations. Let's go move on to our next one, our top closed sides. Our number of closed sides, drum roll. Number closed sides, top number of closings. Miss Kalani Heyman had 6 closings, and everybody else on our list had anywhere between 2 and 6 closings for the month of July from across all of our offices. So congratulations. Now our number 1 for commissions, Adam Kuchmeyer out of South Tampa had the most closed commissions. So when you see some of these numbers, our number of closed commissions, I think the lowest was like $20,000 for the month, $27,000 in closed commissions for the month. So our top agent, the lowest amount from any office was $27,000. So that's an amazing accomplishment. Congratulations to all of our top agents in the month of July. You see a list of all of the names from all across the company. Do me a favor, if you think about it, pick somebody's name out. Go check this out. Pick somebody out. Take them to lunch. Hey, how did you get 5 listings in the month of July? What did you do to sell 7.5 sales in the month of July? How did you close 6? Were they all buyers? Were they sellers? How'd you do that? How'd you make $50, $70, $80, $20,000 in the month of July? I want to know what it took to do that. Can I take you to lunch? Can we grab a coffee? Or tell me when you're going to be at an open house. I'll go sit at your open house with you and pick your brain. Okay? Awesome job, guys. Thank you so much for everything that you do. Again, these are the reasons that we are exceeding our expectations for this year so far.
Yeah, and you should see for these agents, you should see something coming out shortly where you have a graphic that you'll be able to share on your social.
Yeah, Susie typically will get that put together and sent out to everybody. Right now, you see how many listings we're taking? Taking a lot of listings. Our listings are significantly up by probably over 30% number of listings compared to the same period last year. This just requires a higher level of communication with sellers. If you're not doing weekly seller updates, and I'm not talking about just calling the seller and saying, hey, what's going on? Yeah, no showings, no this, no that. I really think we need to take this another level. Tomorrow's class, and I'm going to do tomorrow morning, is going to be on how to deliver a weekly seller update that gets the seller to contact you and tell you we need to lower the price. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that, what to tell them, how to present it weekly so they call you begging you to reduce the price so that their property finally sells. So we need to be doing a better job at the seller updates. Some of us are just sending a text message. Some of us are just calling. Sometimes we're sending the golden ruler. And okay, that's okay, but they hired us to be better than okay. We need to do a better job. We need to make sure that we're doing full, complete, weekly seller updates so they know exactly what it takes to sell that property, especially if we want to continue to take these listings, we got to start selling them. So we've got 30% more listings than we had same period last year, and we need to start selling more of those. And then we need to be using the opportunities that we have presented to us in the company to be able to maximize our marketing. Next, set up buyers with market updates.
So Craig spent some time yesterday going through some key points on what you should, some takeaways that you can be doing on a daily basis. And obviously on the buyer side, there's a lot of different things that are happening, right? There's a lot of places where it is a buyer's market. There's places where you're getting incentives, where you're getting closing costs, and new construction is dropping down to the 4% and giving $50,000 in concessions. We need to make sure that we are giving them updates, because if we wait too long, they're going to find somebody else who is going to be giving some type of value, or they're going to be a little bit more visible. And when it's time for them to flip the switch and finally buy something, they're going to go with someone else. So we need to stay in front of them and give them value, stay more visible. To do that, I talked about a few things right there, but updating searches, putting them on neighborhood news. Most people only do sellers for that, but why not put, if someone's looking at Apollo Beach, putting them on neighborhood news so they're getting a monthly newsletter of what's happening in the market. And then they start seeing that the prices are actually a little bit lower, or they're sitting on the market longer. They decide they want to take a step forward. One of my things I would say to do, like when you get out of this meeting or your office roundtable, is go find 5 buyers that you have in your pipeline. Go into MLS or go into your website and find a property that fits what their needs are, and just send them that one property. Send them a link to that property, not an MLS search. Reach out to them, call them, text them, whatever you want to do. Send them that property and be like, hey, I just found this one. It's been on the market for 120 days. I think we could probably get something to kind of help bring that price down that you're looking for.
And then if you don't have enough buyers in the pipeline, as you meet people or as you come across buyers, whether it's an open house, even if they're working with another agent, simple question to ask them. I want you to practice this, write this down, and say this to every buyer who comes through an open house or every buyer who says that they're working with another agent. Awesome. That's great. I'm glad you have an agent that's working with you. By the way, do you have anybody sending you any amazing deals right now? I guarantee you their agent is not sending them any amazing deals. Do you have anybody sending you any amazing deals right now? They're going to say no. Would it be okay if I sent you any of the amazing deals that come across my desk? Property of the week. Find the most amazing deal you can that's in their area, in their wheelhouse in some way, shape, or form, whether it's new construction, the lowest price home in there in that neighborhood, the one who's been on market for 300 days that we think we can get for a better price, anything like that. Do you have anybody sending you amazing deals? I'm not trying to steal them from somebody. I'm just trying to do and be the most valuable agent in their database. So if I'm sending them amazing deals, they may contact me to have a different discussion about that amazing deal I sent them. And then that opens up our next conversation about conversations regarding EBBAs and market updates. So it just opens that conversation to have a meaningful discussion about the buyer-broker agreement. Do you have any active contracts with any other agents that are out there? I know you said you're working with one, but do you have any active buyer-broker agreements? Let me tell you, I'm coming across a lot of agents and a lot of buyers saying, I've never signed anything with anybody, but I've been looking at homes with them for 3 months. It's happening a lot. So just because they say they're working with somebody, we need to find a way to become more valuable than the person they're working with, because the person they're working with has not done what's necessary to show them what it takes to buy a home in this market. Those two things. Has anybody sat down and showed you what it takes to purchase a home in today's market so we can create the most value for you when you go under contract?
And remember, and again, I'm not poking at anybody, but 70% of the real estate agents in Tampa, just in Tampa, 72%, didn't do one deal last year. So most likely some of these other people are working with people that don't have the professionalism that we run, and one of the reasons why we're at 127% year over year, what we actually teach and what you guys are actually doing out there. So most likely a lot of those people have never sold a house. 72% did not sell a house last year that they could be possibly working for. So if you can figure out a way to bring value, stay more visible. And we know that, like on the bottom here, it talks about what is that, past clients worth 130,000. So if you get that buyer, if they end up working with you, they're worth $130,000 over the lifespan of working with them.
The more value you provide, the more valuable you become.
Yes.
If you become the most valuable agent in their world and the most visible agent in their world, you will be the most compensated agent in their world. You just have to provide more value. And simple conversations can set you apart. And right now, again, we're not trying to steal clients from agents, but what we're trying to do is set ourselves apart from everybody else. Have these meaningful conversations. Look, stop asking people, are you currently working with an agent? No. Has anybody sat down and really showed you what it takes to buy a home in today's market to get the most value for you? No, no one has. No one's at least said it that way. Or simply, do you have anybody sending you any amazing deals right now? In this market, we can find them. Do you have anybody sending them to you? Would it be okay if I sent you updates with some amazing deals? Okay. Zillow Showcase of the Week. This one's simple. If you have a listing and it's not on Showcase, then you need to get it on Showcase. It's $225. You are competing with more listings on the market right now than we have ever seen before. It is the most amount of active listings on the market. We've never seen as many listings on the market. And that's okay, because slowly the buyers are coming back into the market. But which properties are the buyers seeing when they come back into the market? Which ones are being showcased to them? Where do the buyers shop? Buyers shop on Zillow. Zillow owns home search. we can get them into our MLS, we can get them onto Stellar, we can get them into our Moxie, but when they're sitting at home in their bed at midnight, staring at their tablet, they're on Zillow most of the time. If Zillow owns home search, meet the buyers where they are. The buyers are there, let's meet them there. If you have a listing, put it on Showcase. Showcase has so much value with the way that it's presented. I hate paying Zillow money to do anything, but this is not about Zillow, this is about marketing. If we want to market our property better, use the products we have. We took it from $400 down to $225 when you pay up front. You don't have the money to do it right now, that's okay too. You can do a paid at closing and it'll be $400 paid at closing because we'll take the risk up front and then you just pay it at closing. The emails that it sends, the number of saves, the number of searches, it far exceeds what is going on in that market with everybody else who is not showcased. And then the other thing is, most of us are saying, a lot of people I've heard, I showcase the property and property's not sold yet. Zillow Showcase doesn't sell the property. Zillow Showcase makes it stand out so you can have more meaningful conversations with different borrowers. Have another party that's sending emails, tagging them, touching them, reminding them about that property, getting in front of more buyers, being more visible to the people in that market. And guess what? When a seller who's not showcased sees your showcase and the way your property looks, and then that seller expires, who do you think they might call? The guy who has better marketing, the guy who got more views, the guy who got more saves, the one who had more people through their open house, the one who their seller has been telling them about. They're going to call you. So this is setting us up for a whole new perspective moving forward. It's not just about this listing, it's about how you handle your business.
So I want to give some stats real quick. I don't have it actually on the slides here, but we had a call last week with Bobby, our Zillow Showcase, one of our Zillow Showcase guys. And so since we've actually done the showcase, we've done about 415 showcase listings as a brokerage, which is pretty cool. Now, some of these numbers are actually, I'm impressed with some of these, but so far for those 415 listings that we've showcased, Zillow has sent out 434,000 emails to their database on our properties. Okay, so 434,000.
Are you sending 434,000 emails?
To somebody else's database.
It's a lot.
And the our open rate showcase listing with it, so 87%. Okay, and then check this one out. Sorry, I get why this. All right, so this is kind of cool. So, and then we don't say that you're going to get leads all the time, but we basically gotten about 400 leads directly to the agent from all those. So it's basically one per listing is what's happening, a lead that's actually coming through. And then just to kind of finish off right now, the engagement. So basically the people clicking, going to it, seeing the property, out of, let's see, 76 clicks and engagements on average from Zillow and their database that are actually going to these properties and clicking and looking at it. 76 clicks versus 40 that a regular listing gets. Just something twice as good. So, I mean, again, it doesn't sell the property. You're not going to be promised any leads, but we can see that there are some leads that, and I've talked to many agents that have closed leads that actually directly came from it. You're going to show up better. And I'm going to tell you, if it's overpriced, it's overpriced. Zillow's just going to help tell you that story, just like Golden Rule and all the other things, that if it's an overpriced property, it doesn't matter if you put a showcase on it. It's probably still not going to.
Yeah, that's the point.
Just some talking points around that I thought was pretty cool on that.
That's pretty amazing, especially when you look back at the numbers. We took 980 listings basically so far year to date, and 400 and some, almost 50% of them are showcased. So that's a pretty awesome stat. I'd love to see that number get to 75% because I really do believe that our sellers deserve that. And at $225, they definitely deserve to have that extra marketing on there. Awesome.
All right, so let me zoom back out. My bad.
Couple upcoming events. Just wanted to remind you about 121 is coming up. They have early bird registration at $675. 121 is going to be in Vegas this year, so you can go ahead and start booking those things. Best thing to do, we will reimburse our top agents, the master's level or above, for your registration pass if you go, but we reimburse you at the cost of what it is now. If the cost goes up, we don't reimburse that full price. So we're going to reimburse you for what the discounted registration is, because if you're master's level or above, We don't purchase that ticket. You purchase it, and we'll make sure you get reimbursed for that. But if you wait till the last minute and have to pay the top level price for it, I'm sorry, that's a decision that you made. We reimburse for that cost. But 121 is coming up, and it's going to be at the Bellagio in Vegas.
Next up, hopefully you guys have seen the emails, but Canva Enterprise. Canva is coming from Century 21 in Q4. So keep your eyes peeled for that. If you're already paying for a service, there's going to be a way you can transfer that over to the Enterprise Edition. I do not have a date. I do not have a time. I do not know how it's going to happen, but I want to make sure that we call that out for those of you that use Canva or wanted to get into it. Century 21 is partnered with them, and it's going to be given to us for free in Q4 sometime, which is pretty cool. Next thing up too, hopefully everybody's taking a look at the new Beggins University and the new AI tools that we've been kind of showing off the past few Thursdays. Get in there, take a look. We want some feedback on how those things are working, how they're not working, how they are working, and some of the things that you like about it. So please get in there. That's our entire training site, but we've added about 12 different AI tools that you should be taking a look at. Not all of them. You may not want to use all of them, just a handful of them.
Cool. 2 upcoming events wanted to remind you about. There is an AI fraud class that we're doing here in Apollo Beach, but also on Zoom. It's going to be on the 20th, August 20th, which is next week. So show up for that. It's the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. They're putting it together with AARP. And they just want to tell you how AI is committing fraud and people are using it to create fraudulent.
Right after I talked about the cool new AI tools that we have, show up for the AI fraud class.
But we do have a lot of retirees. We do have a lot of this. So some of that is geared toward that, but a lot of it's geared toward how they are basically scamming people into getting information and getting bank accounts and getting money. That's going to be online and in person. If you show up in person, we're going to have lunch. So please RSVP for that.
And then for those that actually were on the top agent cruise that we had on Friday, thank you. Also, thank you so much for coming to that. We appreciate it. It was absolutely amazing. There is going to be a happy hour from 1 to 4 at the Aura Hotel in Tampa on Wednesday, August 27th, not the 21st. For those of you that were
It's for everybody,
Friday.
not just the top agents.
It's for everybody. Okay, it's the 20. We moved it to
Yes.
the 27th. Yeah, and for those of you that don't know, it's going to be a 5-star hotel with residences on the top that you can actually sell. And some of the cool things, yes, they're doing a happy hour for you, but one of the ways that they actually show off this hotel is through VR. So you can actually set an appointment, get on VR, and actually walk through what the pool's going to look like, what the rooms
lobby,
look like,
the event
walk
centers
through
and
all
stuff.
that in VR, which is pretty amazing.
We're going to send an RSVP out for that. Please RSVP because we have to let them know how many people are coming. We told them to expect between 40 and 50 and to show up for a happy hour event. They want to be the only 5-star hotel in Tampa. There is no 5-star hotels in Tampa. They say the Edition is the only one that's close. It's like 4, 4.5 or whatever. They want to be the only 5-star hotel in Tampa. The way that they're marketing, the way that they're building it, along with the residences there, that's what they want to provide, that level of service. So you'll get an RSVP for that. Please RSVP so we can show up and have a good showing there. This is exclusively for Beggins agents.
Yep. And then to finish off, let's go over some real satisfied surveys and how awesome you guys are all doing with your clients. You want to start?
Go ahead.
I have to read.
Yeah.
I want to say it like all wrong. Why don't you read?
Sure. Adam is an incredible realtor, knowledgeable, responsive, and a hard worker. We moved here from out of the area, and he was a true asset in helping us quickly understand the South Tampa market and ultimately helping us find and purchase the right home for our family. I would highly recommend you reach out to him. Awesome review there. The next one is Jessica Roman. Jessica Roman is an absolute powerhouse. Woo! She is an incredibly knowledgeable professional and truly on fire when it comes to real estate. Every suggestion and recommendation she made was spot on. You can tell she really knows the market and has her client's best interest at heart. Jessica is someone you can fully trust throughout the entire process. She's responsive, sharp, and always a step ahead. If you're looking for a realtor who will go above and beyond, Jessica is one you want in your corner. Highly recommend. And then lastly, this is for Melissa. Melissa is a true professional in selling real estate. She's always right on top of everything and very easy to work with. Would definitely recommend Melissa for all of your real estate needs. Thank you for all your hard work. Sincerely, Mary Tompkins, Port Franks, Ontario, Canada. So congratulations to all of our agents and those amazing reviews. Do not forget to send them you can send them a gift card, send them a handwritten thank you note for the review, something that just sets you apart, and maybe give them the $20 you promised them for putting that review out.
And to finish up, don't forget about your goals for this year. I know this is masters for Century 21, but this is the time, if you have not done it the past couple months, revisit what have you done so far this year, get with your manager so you can see and plan for what the future is going to be. But let's look at these goals. You see what we're going after. We're willing to share that for you. Look to see how you're performing, how your year's gone, and let's set goals for the rest of the year. And let's kill it.
Awesome. Happy Tuesday, and we will break off into our individual office meetings. Get with your team, get with your managers, and let's have an awesome week. Happy Tuesday. It's real quick. There is an RSVP for the fraud class that was sent out last week. I'll send another one out today as well. The Aura event is the 27th from 1 to 4. It is a happy hour. You will have an RSVP for that as well. Just a reminder, RSVP, please tell us yes or no if you're going to come. It really helps us out.
Yes,
it
please.
really does help us plan. Every event that we have, if we know who's coming, we can start planning for food earlier.
Yeah.
We can start planning for that event earlier.
And
So
we
just
have
let us know.
lunch for the fraud one. So John, did you already RSVP?
Yes.
Yep, probably. All right. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Let us know if you need anything.
Awesome.